Good morning, everybody, on this cloudy morning. I am back at home. Oh, I was away for 5 days, so my garden has suffered. We didn't have much rain. One of the things that's starting to show is blossom and rotting, and that is because of a lack of water and minerals. For remedy for my garden to add some nutrients, one of the things that I'm gonna add is limestone, and the reason for that mainly is for calcium, and it has a little bit of magnesium as well. The other thing you can do is, and I buy this in the dollar store or other drugstores instead of the garden store because it's cheaper. Just buy one that doesn't have any additives, and that is Epsom salt, and that is for magnesium. Okay, so what I do is I will, for immediate feed, I'm gonna mix this into water, dissolve it, and I will water my tomatoes and peppers with the watering can, and then I come around and water them with the hose because they're also dry. So I'm accomplishing two things really, feeding them and watering them. This is what we're trying to prevent for the next set of tomatoes that's gonna ripe. I'm gonna do the same for the peppers. The next thing I'm gonna do is just water really well, soak them nicely. So I'll speed this up for you. To know when it's enough to water, if you want to achieve deep watering, just look for puddles forming in the dirt. So when you see a couple of puddles on your garden bed, then you can be pretty sure that you definitely have a couple of inches of water in the ground already. This is a good time to actually start some more seeds because this bed next to me is kind of coming to the end. Some of these things I'm gonna get rid of, and I need some backup plants, so I will be setting up kind of a little bit of a nursery where I'm gonna put the seeds in and let them start there, and then I'm gonna transplant them when the bed is ready to go. And I also will be transplanting some things like the parsley on the raspberry plant, which is not so happy. The idea is that you always have to keep planting things, I would say every other week. I always plant a batch of green onions because then I'm gonna have a perpetual supply of green onions. They do take a long time to grow from seed. So I have more matures down there and then have some babies in this bed, and now I'm gonna have some more babies coming out of this. And then I'll show you what else I'm planting. This is where the kale was last year, so this actually is still giving me some leaves, but I'm gonna get rid of these other two because I really don't need that many plants for kale. This is the oregano. It's doing really well. I have 4 plants of oregano. So behind this I will have a 2x2 space. First thing, the challenge is going to be getting this second year kale out because it gets huge. The root of this is huge. So some digging is needed. I probably should get my big spade, but this might work. Let's see. There we go. Oh, too bad. So this will go into the compost. Here's the second one. Big roots. And I think I'm gonna get rid of this second year parsley as well, since I have some new parsley plants coming up. Because it's really just flowering now. It doesn't really give me any more leaves. I already harvested all the leaves that they were. Compost. Transplant this year's parsley here because this is where they used to be before I started planting them over there, and they do like a little shade. So let's go and dig them out and bring them over, and this will give them a really good spot, just like that. So this little guy here is just struggling. It's still alive, but as you can see it's mostly dry. And then I have this one that's really good, still well, but it's kind of under the raspberry, so I'm gonna dig that out as well. I will try to get as much dirt as possible with the root ball, so it doesn't get too disturbed. transplanting mature plants is not the best idea, but in this case that will save this guy's life. I hope. So I have a pretty good root ball with this one. And I'm gonna get the other one. Let's take them to their new home. And we're going to put the big one here closer to the shade, and the small one's going to get a little more sun. I can probably clean this up a little, get rid of the leaves so I can tell how it's doing later. Perfect. I'm gonna come back later and just water this in real well. This little tiny guy. I don't know if I want to take too much of it. But because I know it's still alive, it will come back. These things are amazing. A little higher. There we go. A little pressure, and again water it in real nicely. I'll be right back. That looks really nice. We'll be back next week to check on these, so if you want to follow it, make sure you subscribe. This is where the nursery spot's gonna be. This is last year's Swiss chard, which I harvested a little this year a couple of times, but it's really getting crappy now, and I've been chopping it down, but it's not giving any nice little leaves, so I'm going to plant some new one anyway. So I'm gonna pull it if I can. Again, it's huge. I do have some beets growing here, so I want to make sure not to disturb those. And next to the chard I have some broccoli that I don't know if they're gonna make into anything because it's pretty hot for broccoli. Yep, that's huge. even though I just watered. This bed I didn't water too deep because I know I'm going to be working on it. I'm going to make this a little finer because I'm going to plant seeds in here, right? Probably could go and get some more compost out of the pile, but I'm just too lazy right now, so I'm gonna kind of even this out. Technically, seeds don't need any nutrients, they just need sunshine and water. So that's why I can get away with just using the old spent ground to plant into. Again, I just want to make sure they're even, and that way they don't get washed away with the rain. Watering it will let you know if you have any uneven spots. So the first thing I want to do is some bunching onions, and the way I'm gonna plant them is in bunches, as they say, and I'm just gonna make a row here for them. And I'm gonna make sure I label them so I know what has grown or has not grown. I'll try to put 10 seeds a bunch, and then I'll do 10 bunches. I need to make this a little straight. There we go. I guess I only have space for 6 bunches, which is fine. As I said, every 2 weeks I make some more. That's more than I need, because if you have 6 of 10, that's 60 green onions every 2 weeks. That's pretty good. And then I want to make sure again to label them as I do. The next one I'm gonna plant is more beets. Can't have too much beets. I can actually put these in a little deeper because they're kind of big seeds. That was about 10 seeds, I don't know. Again, we'll do this again in 2 weeks. Next I'm gonna do some lettuce, romaine lettuce. Again, these will be transplanted. All of these will be transplanted somewhere else. Spaced out more. I mean, how many lettuce do you need every 2 weeks, right? Very few, right? So I think if I do 6, that's plenty, but I do double it up because some of these seeds may not germinate, right? And I do have a lot of seeds anyway. They're cheap. Next, I'm going to replace the Swiss chard. Now again, I don't need many Swiss chards, so I'm only going to do like 3. So, a partial row here. And as I said, this is biannual, so this is going to last me over the winter, really. And they do get big, so we'll shoot for 3, but I'm going to plant 5, just in case some don't germinate. The sun is coming out finally. So I can do another half row of something here, which will be cabbage. Again, I don't need many. These are kind of a smaller cabbage, similar to napa cabbage, I think. I had these seeds forever, so I don't know how well they're gonna do. But let's do a half row of that. And again, I probably just need about 6 of these. So that's plenty. I don't really like to grow eggplant, I decided, but I like it for their flowers, so these really like it. So I'm gonna plant some. Maybe 5. These are kind of a smaller type. They tend to grow like later in the season. So. So again, just a half row of that. Cauliflower. I never have any good luck with cauliflower, so I'm gonna keep trying. They tend to get very leggy and go to flower immediately. Yeah, it might be too hot for them, but hopefully by the time these grow out, it's not gonna be as hot. That's what I keep hoping. Another type of cabbage I'm gonna try to grow again. There is one that I actually had success with this spring, but it doesn't look like it's feeling good, so I'm gonna plant some more. Again, it's probably just gonna be a half a row of cabbage. find some more broccoli. Mostly, this is new to me. I never planted this with a vega. I'm gonna plant a row of that and see if I can even transplant this, but that's the plan. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring some fine dirt and sprinkle it over all this. I just have to go to the compost pile after all. Just gonna cut it down a little. Oh, this is nice and wet. Then I'm gonna water it a little bit, just very gently. And I'm gonna have to do this every day. Make sure I water it, so at least for the first couple of weeks. Okay, the next thing I want to do is just go and harvest the beans and raspberries. I'll show you what I got on those. So I'm done for today. I did not harvest the raspberries. There were like 3 little pieces that I just ate. And this is my harvest for the green beans, which is not much, but it's certainly gonna be enough for a meal, and B, it's gonna encourage the plants to put out more, especially now that the heat wave is over. It's quite humid outside, so the lessons I learned today is that you gotta take some breaks when you planning to do a bunch of things on the same day like I did. Take 5 minutes, get some water, tea, coffee, whatever, but don't kill yourself, because especially when you get a little older, you can get dizzy and you can exhaust yourself, and that's not fun. So I hope that will encourage you to go and do some garden work today, even if it's a little bit at a time. It's all good. Enjoy your garden and come back and see me next week.